Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video and the one that follows, I want to create this hamburger icon for a mobile nav that on clicks does a brief little animation. This particular project is part of a bigger extra credit activity for the web dev students. So they're working on phase 1, which is this drop-down navigation menu. Phase 2 is going to be basically this slide out side nav with a vertical oriented nav menu. But I want to have a little button here to control that, including this little animation effect. Let's head over to the script or the page, and this is the div that represents my slide out control panel. That's not the topic for this video. I want to focus on that little anchor tag, that hamburger icon. So I'm going to go ahead and construct that with an anchor tag. And just do a dummy href. I'm going to give it an ID, mn icon for mobile nav icon, and I'm also going to give it a class, mn icon close. Inside of this, I'm simply going to have 3 sets of divs, and then I'll have my closing anchor. So that's all I'm going to do for the HTML on this. Now I'm using an anchor because I just want this to be a hyperlink type of action, but there's nothing wrong with using a div too, because ultimately clicking on this is going to be controlled with a script, a little JavaScript. Now even if I was using a div here, I think I would probably use CSS and change the icon to a little hand, so that way it still looks and behaves like a hyperlink even if I'm not technically using an anchor. But I think that's good for now. Now the real work for this, and then the focus on this particular video, is going to be the styling. And we'll tackle the script in the next video. So all the CSS up here is for the actual menu, the slide out menu, which I'm still constructing. This is just going to be for the icon. So I'm going to go ahead and create a rule for myself for mn icon. And I'm going to go ahead and have a few things on here. So it's definitely going to be position absolute. And I'm going to put it 8 pixels from the top and negative 78 pixels from the right. Now what that means is, let me head back over to my browser and refresh, and it's gone for now. You can't see it just because it doesn't have any width or height or color. But basically, by default, that icon's going to be over in the top left of that side pane. I'm positioning it over to the top right. And then by saying negative 78 pixels, I'm going to have it show up out here in space outside of that little navigation pane. So in addition to the positioning, I'm also going to give it some width of 70 pixels and a height of 60 pixels and a background color of orange. Now you're going to be able to see it show up right where I wanted to. Now keep in mind, by positioning this thing absolutely, it was pretty important that my mobile nav was also positioned either relative or absolute. I did a position absolute on that one. So it's good to position absolutely within a positioned container, often relative though. Now to style the little divs, and this is what makes up the stripes within that hamburger icon. So this is going to be my mn icon divs. Now all of these are going to have a width of 62 pixels and a height of 10 pixels. And I'll do a background color that's nice and dark. They're all going to be positioned absolute. There we go. And now for the actual styling of those. So the first thing I guess I'll style is the mn icon close. All right, no problem. So if the class is going to be closed, it's going to be X and so forth. So I just need to, actually, I think I'll style the open ones first, because that's even easier, because it's just going to be the 3 stripes. Mn icon open space div. So the divs within the class of mn icon open, and basically I will have, oh, you know what, since I'll do each of these separately, div colon nth child 1, because each one is going to be a little bit different. I'll just try to put these all in one line. Since they're already position absolute, here I can just say where I want them to be. For instance, I want this first one to be 4 pixels from the top and 4 pixels from the left. They already have width and height and color set. Let me go ahead and copy this, paste it a few times. This will be number 2 and number 3. And then the next one is going to be 24 pixels from the top, and the third will be 44 pixels from the top. Save that, browser refresh, and now we can see I've got those 3 stripes. So that was pretty easy. And it was basically just playing around with the position and the width and stuff like that for those stripes. Now, I want to deal with the close status. And close. Now, to be able to test this out while we're styling, I'll just have to change this out to the class dim and icon close. Okay, so at the moment, they should be identical, as they are. So now I just want to customize the close status. Now, for the first one, I'm going to go ahead and throw in a transform, and I will do rotate. There we go, got to write it properly. And I played around with some numbers, and I found that 225 degrees looks pretty cool. I started off doing 45 degrees, but it wasn't neat enough, so just adding a little bit more there. Now for the middle stripe, transform. Actually, no, not even doing a transform in that one. I just want it to disappear. So I'll just change the opacity to 0. In the third one, transform, rotate, did that one in negative 225 degrees. So it kind of goes in an opposite direction. And it looked pretty cool. And if I save this and browser refresh, all right, middle one is gone, the other ones are rotated, so I just have to adjust the positioning on those. And it turns out that basically 24 pixels from the top for all of them was fine. Of course, the position for the middle one doesn't really matter. And so now they kind of make a nice little X pattern. And basically, if I change the class attribute of that icon, I get the new pattern. And that's basically all we have to worry about for styling. And that's what we're going to rely on JavaScript for, to change that class. Now the animation is actually going to happen up in the CSS, but I'll do that after we put in the script in the next video, so that way we can kind of see it all together. Take care.